While this year's Meizu 20 leaves a lot to be desired. It was cheap enough to attract some people on a budget to buy it. So with the Meizu 21 going up in price 8 months from now, what has it got to offer that would make me shell out that $470 to pick it up? I guess the biggest reason would be its looks. The phone gives me a bit of a strange feeling. It looks like the child of a Samsung and Nothing phone, but I have to say, it does look quite good. Maybe it's because all the other phones are so flashy in design, it looks like the Meizu 21 is particularly minimalistic. And they put a little more thought into the flash. RGB. It beats to the music and can also be used to check the current volume level. Quite an interesting little design. The vibration motor, which Meizu has always been proud of, is as good as ever, and the IR blaster and NFC are not absent. If only the IP54 could be replaced with the IP68, this phone would be perfect. With most cell phones, you can tell at a glance what brand it is when you look at the back of them. People like us who have reviewed a lot of phones can even accurately name the model name of each one. But I believe nobody can recognize a phone by its front except for the Meizu 21 white version. This white bezel will let you know it's a Meizu phone without lighting up the screen, and the bezels are truly equal in width. The front camera will also be a little smaller than other phones. All in all, the Meizu 21 by looking from the front is unique and beautiful. Well, when you tap on the screen, you might be a bit disappointed. I didn't expect to see this 1080p Samsung eSIG panel in the world where 1200p and 1440p screens are everywhere. Although the Meizu 21 will be a little smaller than other phones, the actual PPI 321 is still more painful for book lovers. Combined with the PWM dimming, the peak brightness and the viewing angle are not as good as other phones in the same price range. It's hard to say this is a good screen. Since the current tech hasn't been able to help get rid of the black matrix completely, the black line also makes it look less than perfect on the front panel. All in all, this screen isn't good in terms of display, and anyone looking to buy the Meizu 21 shouldn't expect too much from this screen. Unsurprisingly, the Meizu 21 uses Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, but surprisingly, the performance of the Meizu 21 looks good and the thermal dissipation is quite better than last year's Meizu 20. Does this mean that gaming isn't as bad as it used to be either? Yes, the gaming experience is much improved on the Meizu 21 as well. While it consumes more power and gets harder than other 8 Gen 3 phones, it at least lets you keep your frame rate high for a long period of time. Well, Meizu has finally made up for the shortcoming in performance, I guess. There are 3 cameras on the Meizu 21. Despite the useless depth of field camera, there are really only 2 cameras on the Meizu 21 that it will use regularly. As you know, the 200 megapixel primary camera is there to make up for the lack of telephoto camera. Zoomed-in photos can still have good clarity, not exactly a gimmick, but Meizu doesn't seem to think so. The photos taken by Meizu 21 seem to be 20 megapixel instead of 200 megapixel, and not as sharp as 50 megapixel on Redmi K70. Maybe the 200 megapixel mode hasn't been debugged yet, so let's zoom in with auto mode to take a look again. It doesn't win over the K70 either at 2x or 4x. I'm pretty sure my hands weren't shaking and the camera was in focus. I'm speechless. You can just use this 200 megapixel main camera as a normal 12 megapixel one. But hey, without zooming in, both cameras are not bad. The front camera can also record a 4K 60fps video with image stabilization. If you don't need much from the cameras, the Meizu 21 will barely meet your needs. Charging and battery life aren't the Meizu 21's strong points, so you guys can see what it's probably at by looking at the graphs. Meizu is still the same as ever. It's always been different from other phones and has its own unique strength, like the white front panel, home indicator with 3D touch, and Flyme OS. I appreciate their personalities, but I wouldn't recommend the Meizu 21 to non-fans because there are just too many phones out there that are more desirable to buy recently, like this one. I'm Will from China. We'll see you next time.